Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. So by now, I guess everybody's aware of the Vehicle Entry Permit or VEP that all of us need to drive into Malaysia. This was implemented sometime in October for those who are not aware, but yeah, I mean, it's not been problem-free to say the least. It's got a lot of hiccups, but I must say in recent times it's improved a lot. So some of you may be aware I bought a new car recently, and as part of that purchase, I didn't opt for a new number plate. I decided to retain my number plate, and that posed an interesting question with regards to the VEP. While there was a lot of publications and articles as to how to actually apply for a VEP, there isn't as much of press around how do you apply for a VEP for a vehicle that you probably retain a number for. Fortunately for me, I actually went through the process and it wasn't as painful as it seems, but it could be confusing for some. So I've decided to document some of these steps just for everybody's sake. Having said that, some of the screenshots that I'll be showing might or might not be exactly the same for a few reasons. One, the site changes very regularly and it's very dynamic in regards to how the Malaysian authorities actually process it. And secondly, because I've actually processed my VEP already, some of the screenshots are net new screenshots that I've captured, but I'll actually walk you through some of those points where it should be different, so you guys have a viewpoint on what to expect. But before we get straight into it, I want to give you also an estimate of timelines. So from the time you actually receive your new car, you can actually start collating some of the important information to actually process your transfer for the VEP. There's a few documents, so to speak, and I'll walk you through as we go along. But net of it is that you may take around a week or so before you actually get approval, assuming all the documents in place, from the authorities that your VEP is on the way. So in all fairness, that 1 week is amazing. Historically, when I started the application process in October, it took almost close to 2 to 3 months. But in recent time, I think a lot of the Singapore cars have already been registered, so it's been relatively straightforward and they have been extremely prompt. You will still need your insurance policy documents all ready up. For me, that was actually the delay and it was part to do on my side. So if you didn't have the document or the policy numbers, you probably might be best to wait for the documents before you start the application process. So let's get straight into it, and I'll answer some more questions as we go along. So this screen should be familiar if you registered for VEP before. You need to click on the register for deregistration, and then it will prompt you to enter your email for the one-time PIN. Once you have it, just click submit and just wait for your one-time PIN and punch it in. So while I'm waiting for this to go through, I just want to kind of share with you, before retaining the number, the first thing we need to do is actually to deregister the number of your previous vehicle. It may sound kind of odd, but it's because they don't actually have a process for retaining, so hence you need to deregister and re-register it again. So have your current vehicle details ready, so your vehicle registration number as well as your chassis number. And when I say chassis number, it's not your new vehicle but your existing old vehicle. So the next section is important. This is where you actually change retention of vehicle registration number and you pick private individual. The next few sections as to what documents are required. So they provided some samples as to the document types that you require. You can click on each and individual one of those and have a look. The important documents are obviously the vehicle retention number document from LTA, as well as the successfully transferring your old vehicle to a temporary number. These documents are typically available on the One Motoring website a couple of days after you receive your new vehicle. If you have any other documents that might help your justification, you can upload it in the other section, but typically it's not necessary. When you're ready, click submit and you should be given a case number, which is a very long string of numbers. So keep that number in place because you might want to use that number to check your status by punching in that case number and your vehicle registration number at some point. If you're successful, you'll be getting an email notification about successful deregistration. But if you fail, sometimes you might not actually get an email. So checking the case reference number is the only way to look up the current status. And they're usually pretty good at telling you what's actually missing. The confirmation looks something like this. It will contain a long link. You will need to actually go to that specific link and to deregister your car at the JPJ website. So this is where it's confusing as well. There's two parties at play. There's the JPJ, which is the government authority, and then there's TC Sense, which is the third-party contractor that's helping them process the VEP. You need to kind of do deregistration on both ends. Next, log in at the JPJ website. You should be given the details of your vehicle. My screen is a little bit different because I've already deregistered, but you should be given an option to deregister somewhere under status. Once you've completed the deregistration, the next thing we need to do is click on Register a New Vehicle at the button on top. Next, you'll be presented with a whole bunch of screens that you should be familiar with if you've applied for a VEP before. It's exactly the same process as you would a traditional net new application. In the past, I've been able to upload a PDF document of the car registration details or log card and it auto-populate. For some reason, this time it didn't work, so I had to manually fill it in. So if you have any success, do let me know. But otherwise, yeah, manual works fine. Believe it or not, you are going to come back to this website after that and pretty much repeat the same process like you did earlier. Under the Actions section, there should be a button to register, and you'll put in the same details, your registration, your name, your car details, etc., and all the relevant documents. So some of the more important documents, like I mentioned earlier in the video, is the insurance policy, your NRIC, as well as your new vehicle log card. Once you have done that and click submit, fingers crossed, everything goes well. You should hear back from them in a couple of days and you'll get an email. Once you get that email, again, come back to the TC Sense website and you'll be prompted for payment. You'll go through the whole payment process and you'll be given a receipt number, and the next thing that's going to happen is to wait on an email for the shipment of the VEP. And that's pretty much the entire process of retaining your number from start to finish. Hopefully it's been a bit of a guide for you guys who are planning to do this. And if you have any questions in relation to the process, feel free to drop me a comment and I'll help you guys as much as possible. Once again, thanks for stopping by and I hope this has been useful. If it is, please do a like, subscribe and share if you need to. And till the next one.